Welcome to our introduction to DBMoto, a real-time heterogeneous data replication and change data capture software product from HiT software. This presentation will give you some background on HiT software and our products, and then walk you through a typical use of DBMoto in a business environment. Based in San Jose, California, the heart of Silicon Valley, HiT software has been providing relational database integration and access products since 1994. HiT software offers three different product lines. Allura is our full-featured XML to database transformation and mapping product with a graphical, easy-to-use, and modular approach. DBMoto, our flagship data replication product, provides real-time change data capture and bidirectional synchronization between all the popular relational databases, such as IBM DB2, including AS400, Mainframe, and LUW, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, Informix, Sybase, SQLBase, SQL Anywhere, as well as specialty databases such as Netezza and VectorWise. Our DB2 connectivity providers offer fast performance and small footprint access to IBM's DB2 databases via JDBC, ODBC, OLADB, and .NET. Safe Conduct provides 256-bit encryption for our DB2 connectivity family of middleware. Today, DBMoto is used by hundreds of teams worldwide in manufacturing, healthcare, government, finance, insurance, and many other industries. DBMoto's easy-to-use features and quick implementation make it easy for IT teams from any industry to achieve real-time data sharing, data updates, and data migrations between all major databases. DBMoto's real-time data replication and change data capture features offer significant benefits for both mid-size and large businesses. Data analysis and reporting depend on the accuracy that fresh data offers. Now your business intelligence and data warehousing systems can be updated in real time. Many users find that DBMoto is the perfect solution for disaster recovery plans. DBMoto's fast data updates and restarts make backup and recovery a snap. DBMoto has a very small footprint and can reside on either the source, the target, or on a separate system altogether. It provides features such as replication grouping and transaction log reading, which help to minimize the amount of system overhead when processing data replication tasks. And DBMoto contains many wizards and self-help guides to install and run. Once replication is turned on, you can relax and let DBMoto take care of processing the automatic updates whenever a data change occurs. DBMoto's powerful yet easy-to-use features make database replication a quick and cost-effective process for database administrators, IT staff, and developers. Our customers benefit from the low cost of ownership and easy-to-use features of DBMoto, and particularly appreciate the ability to leverage their existing databases and hardware. In addition, DBMoto requires little to no training or consulting to get up and running. DBMoto is the perfect solution for organizations that need to make production data accessible on operational data stores, to replicate data for data warehousing, or to establish data marts for business intelligence reporting. DBMoto's unique functions, such as the DBMoto Verifier, which compares data before and after replications, help manage your toughest data replication jobs. DBMoto is a proven solution for our customers such as Efcopella, GFS Canada, and Honda. As well, DBMoto is certified to work with our database partners Oracle, IBM, and Microsoft, giving you the assurance of reliable product performance. By downloading a free 30-day DBMoto trial from our website, plus full support from our world-class individualized tech support team, we can get you up and running now. One of our customers, a North American auto dealer of luxury cars, selected DBMoto to help them implement a business intelligence project for their sales and service groups. The auto dealer needed to provide its dealerships and parts department with current and accurate data using a Microsoft-based reporting system. However, much of their inventory and manufacturing data was housed in an IBM DB2 database. Since their business intelligence solution needed to run on SQL Server, they faced a breakdown in data availability and timeliness, which made it impossible to provide reporting to sales. In addition, they had a tight IT budget and IT staff who were already stretched thin. The auto dealer needed a data replication solution that could provide data synchronization in real time from their DB2 to their SQL Server system, and the solution would need to be implemented quickly and within budget. Here is how DBMoto played a key role in delivering the solution. Production data from manufacturing and distribution is housed in an IBM DB2 for I database. That production data needed to be synchronized to the corporate systems residing on multiple SQL Server systems. These SQL Server databases provided the dealers parts and sales forms, scheduling information, and analysis reports. Using DBMoto, the dealer could select which data to synchronize from DB2 to SQL Server, and do this in real time by filtering records and table structures or through scripting and using one-way or bidirectional incremental change data capture. DBMoto was able to balance the load across all database systems, providing the dealer with the data it needed to respond quickly to customer demands in a highly competitive and fast-paced auto dealership environment. DBMoto's key advantage is providing real-time data replication for heterogeneous databases, making it a highly valuable product that can be reused for all your data integration projects. The power of the product is in its ability to do log-based replication on major databases at a fraction of the cost, effort, and time required by other competitive offerings. Now we're going to show a brief demonstration on how, in just a few minutes, you can set up and run DBMoto's log-based data replication solution.
So this is HiT Software's DBMoto product. It's our real-time change data capture product that HiT Software offers. I'm going to first talk about the two components that make up the DBMoto product. The first major component is the DBMoto Management Center, as you can see here. This is the command and control center. This is where the user of DBMoto creates instructions for the data replicator ETL engine, which I'll right-click here, and you'll see that that is called the DBMoto Data Replicator. The DBMoto Data Replicator is a Windows service that runs on your Windows server where DBMoto is installed. And this is the ETL engine that basically replicates the data between your databases. I'm going to expand my sources, and this is a folder that contains all these sources that I have available on my network to read from. So as you can see here, I have DB2 on the AS400 or DB2 on iSeries. Then I also have a DB2 Linux Unix Windows source, a MySQL source, as well as Oracle source. Now many of these may be your production systems, so the DB2 on the AS400 could house your production data. Your Oracle source might house your ERP or general ledger or financial system data. And then your targets, which is SQL Server or Oracle. For SQL Server, a lot of people like using it for reporting, real-time reporting or executive dashboard reporting. So you can actually build your reporting off of the SQL Server, so you're not pulling directly against your production systems, which may cause some overhead. I'm going to expand my replications, and I currently have one set up. This is the ultimate goal of where we want to accomplish today with DBMoto. Before we get started, I'll show you some characteristics of the replication inside DBMoto. So I'll right-click and go to Replication Properties. And this shows you exactly what the replication job is doing. So basically, you'll see that the replication name is the table name, table category. The source connection of the source database is the DB2 on I source, and then it's basically the source table, which is the A training library and the table category. The target connection is the SQL Server target that we have set up. And demo.dbo table underscore category is basically the SQL Server table that we're replicating to. As Carolyn has mentioned before, we support 3 modes. So the first mode is refresh. And refresh is basically making a copy of your source tables to your target table one time only. There's no change data capture here. The first mode of change data capture that we offer is the continuous mirroring. So after an initial refresh, changed data will be replicated from the source to the target. So any changes such as inserts, updates, deletes that occur on my DB2 on the AS400 will be replicated to the SQL Server target in that direction. Synchronization is the bidirectional mirroring. So any changes on your DB2 on the AS400 source will obviously affect your SQL Server target database, but as well as any changes on your SQL Server target database can update, insert, or delete records on your DB2 on the AS400. Today I'll be showing you a continuous mirroring demonstration for our webinar. So with that, I'm going to click on mapping, and this shows you the field-to-field mapping between the AS400 and the SQL Server. As you can see here, it's a relatively simple table, but you'll see that the three fields are automatically mapped by DBMoto. You'll also notice that the data type conversion is already automatically taken care of here. So as you can see here on the left-hand side, the DB2 on the AS400 source is the data type is integer. But on the SQL Server side, you see that the data type is int, because there is no data type on SQL Server called integer. So we automatically do the data type conversion mapping for you. I'm going to click on the scheduler here, and you'll see that this is a very easy tool for us to schedule anything that we need within DBMoto. So I can schedule a refresh one time only, that's by default. But I can schedule a recurrent refresh. Some people like to run recurrent refreshes after certain database maintenances. So you can run a recurrent refresh, and you can set the schedule monthly, daily, yearly, and so on and so forth. You can select mirroring schedule, and mirroring is always running continuously, but you can schedule for interruptions too as well. So these interruptions might be the database maintenance that we talked about or other IT needs. So you can schedule DBMoto to put DBMoto on pause during the replication for your IT or database maintenance. And basically you'll resume where it left off after that window has expired. You can click add, and you can see, as you can see here, you can easily add a daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly schedule and at a certain time. So it's pretty easy to use. I'm going to expand my DB2 source and expand my SQL Server source so you can see that the table underscore category replication is between these two tables. Before I jump right in and get started on how to start replication and create your replications, then I'm going to point you over to our streamlined start page. Especially for in-house users, this is a really good resource for everyone to use. And basically, it gives you an easy-to-use setup and start guide for creating replications. You can see our video tutorials, which also help you get up and running really quickly. You can see our user guides for any additional usages for DBMoto. You'll see our extensive knowledge base, which if you were seeking any functions or advanced functions inside DBMoto, there's some tips and tricks for DBMoto as well as other articles inside our knowledge base. And finally, if you have any technical support questions or any problems that you run into while using DBMoto, you can click on this link and basically you can send us the email, or there's phone numbers listed to contact our 24/7, near 24/7 customer support. So I'm going to drop this down, and then you'll see that I currently have the table underscore category already set up for this replication, and I've already done some replications. So we'll see how change data capture works and affects those tables in a couple of minutes here. But first, I want to replicate and create replications for the rest of my tables here. So I can achieve that by right-clicking on the A training library inside my AS400 DB2 and select Create Multiple Replications. As said before by Carolyn, DBMoto is a wizard-driven replication product. So it really walks you through and steps you through on how to create replications and do all the functions you need here quickly and easily. I'm going to click Next. I'm going to leave the replication name blank, as what I did here, so that you use the source table's name as the replication name. So I'll keep that intact. The replication mode, as we saw earlier, I'm going to select continuous mirroring here. Is what our demo is going to be about today. And then I'm going to select Use Group. I'm going to create a group. AS400 to SQL Server. This is what we call a replication group. DBMoto is a multi-threaded product. So today we have 8 tables and replications. And if I allow 8 continuous threads, then basically it will open 8 network connections between your source and target and 8 separate reads on your source database, on your source DB2 production database for changes. Now, 8 tables might not be a lot, but when you have more replications, such as 100, 200, and so on and so forth, that's quite a few replications that are pulling against or pulling data from your journal, your AS400 journal or transaction log. So with using replication groups, I can group these 8 tables into one replication group. And basically, it basically reduces network overhead as well as system overhead on your production system. By that, basically all 8 tables within that replication group will only use one network connection between the source and target and one read on your AS400 transaction journals or logs to pull changes for all 8 tables. So this significantly reduces a lot of overhead on any of your production systems as well as your network resources. So we're going to select Use Groups here, Continuous Mirroring. My source connection name is the DB2 AS400, the source and the library name, and click Next. And this is where DBMoto is going to read the AS400 journals for a transaction ID. And this transaction ID allows DBMoto to keep track of where it currently is in replication, so that if there's any unscheduled interruptions, DBMoto knows what was the last transaction that was successfully replicated to your target table. So as you can see here, the transaction ID is 193. Click Next here. I'm going to select my SQL Server target. I'm going to select David, my database name, and that will be demo, and then owner's DBO. As you can see here, DBMoto will list all the tables inside your source database. And a lot of the time, some system tables show up, or some tables that you may not want to replicate data because that's not important for your application. So this is the first level of filtering in DBMoto. So I'm just going to select the tables that I believe that I need the data of. So I'm going to deselect that and select these 7 tables here. Since I've already created a replication for the table category, I won't select that, so it won't create a replication for that. Click Next. It's going to execute an initial refresh to populate both tables. It's going to run continuous mirroring, so there's going to be no interruption, so you'll see data flow freely. And you'll see Enable Replication. And click Next, and click Start. And what DBMoto is doing currently is locating the tables on my SQL Server and basically automatically mapping the fields. So basically, once it finds all the fields and maps it, it will also do the data type conversion, which is already done. So as you can see here, quite a bit of things are populated. Currently, you see that when I select the groups here, you'll notice in the replication monitor that there are 7 replications that are currently in the group. All replications in a group are denoted by the link, the gold link, as you can see here. And then I'm going to select the top level on the replications, and you'll see that there's 8 replications now, and this 8th replication is my original replication that I created that is currently not in a group that I've already replicated to. As you can see here, currently there is no data flowing. So my DBMoto data replicator ETL engine is currently not replicating data until I start it. Now currently I do have it paused or stopped, my data replicator engine, but currently on this table that's already established, the source table and the target table might be out of sync. The reason why is because while it's on pause, data might be currently inserted, updated, or deleted on my source table. So I'm going to do an open table, and this allows you to see what the current table view is, and you'll see the view. And this, I'd like to note that there's currently 55 and 56 here, which is the current 2 records. The latest 2 records. But as you can see here on my target database, that 2 records is not present because we have not started the engine. Therefore, it hasn't detected the changes. So once I start the DBMoto data replicator, basically it'll start updating with those changes here. So I'm going to select the top level of the replications here. Scroll a little bit further down. I'm going to start my data replicator, start as a service. And so in a couple of minutes here, you'll see that data will start flowing between the source and the target. And you'll note that there's processed records and total records and failed records. And this allows you to easily see whether there's any errors that occur or anything like that, so that you'll see that there's currently 2 records that are failed and there's 4 records that are currently processed. So there's 2 records that are successful and 2 records that fail. I'm going to right-click and go to Show History. I'm going to break this view out so you can get a better look. Now you can see, easily track down errors within DBMoto and target tables as well. So I'm going to double-click on that, and then you'll see that there's currently some errors that occurred. I'm going to quickly check here, and then I'm going to do a run and select on the AS400 here. Scroll up, scroll the screen up a little bit. Record 56 here. I'm going to rerun the select, and you'll see that the last 2 records have been updated as well here. So you can see that through change data capture, I was able to detect 2 changes. Even though DBMoto was paused, these 2 changes were picked up by DBMoto. So now these 2 tables are currently in sync. This concludes the demonstration for this webinar, and I'll hand it back over to Carolyn to complete this webinar.
Thanks for joining us for our DBMoto overview.